Well, hello everyone. Hope everyone's doing okay. This video is going to cover the work I did in the month of August of 2022. So let's get right into it. Alright, so here I have my 1/2 inch thick piece of fiberglass that I put together, and I'm going to drill some plugs. I already did a test one. Alright, here's the inside. This is on the starboard side where I installed these plugs. You can see them sticking out. They've been installed for about a week now, so I'll show you what they look like on the underside. Everything looks the same on the port. Alright, so here I'm laying under the port side. This is where the port rudder would come out. And you can see, here's the plugs. They're just barely sticking up on the underside here. Here's the strut ones. So I'm going to grind these down today. My goal actually today is to get rid of the rest of this gel coat here. Started sanding it the other day, but you can see this is really cracked, so all this has to basically come off right here. Same on this side. This side's, port side's really bad. The starboard side isn't as bad, but where all these chips are, all this gel coat has to come off. There's too many cracks. As you can see, there's too many cracks to try to repair that. That would be a massive brain tease. But it doesn't get too bad once you get to the edge. It's the transom here. So it's not too bad here. I can probably only have to remove out in here somewhere. But anyways, I say only. That's a lot of stuff to remove. But for right now, I'm just concentrating on this area right here. A 12-inch area from like here to here, I guess. Just where this strut is. Same thing on the starboard side. And then up in here. Just because this has to be fiberglassed over with a couple layers of fiberglass. And I just want to prep it and do that hopefully in the near future. We get the same thing going on over here on the starboard side. It's a little further along, and it's not as bad cracking wise for the gel coat, but a lot of it's still coming off. So, as you can see, the engine areas are just about ready to be fiberglassed. I actually already cut the fiberglass piece on this side, as you can see, but I still need to do a few little minor areas. I'll go down here and check it out. I'll check it out on this one. There's just areas that I had to do a little filling here and there yesterday. And I got to sand those down. I've got a few areas on this side as well that have those little areas, but I just wanted to get this fiberglass laid out first. I'm not going to do this chunk right here right now because I think that's going to be a little bit intricate. I don't want to get epoxy over the shaft log here thing, so I'm going to just do this separate. I might even do a couple layers on there because I did do some repairs and filling and things, so I want to get that nice and solid and good. You can see it goes right up to the other piece. I'm not running it up that piece there, that support there. I'm just running it up to it. This is not like a structural piece of fiberglass here. This is just to tie everything in to give me a nice even surface for everything. Alright, everything's been wiped down, sanded, wiped down again, and it's ready to go. all done, and I'm pretty happy with it. Now, as you can see, as you've seen before, when I do my fiberglassing, I don't use a roller to apply it. I use a brush, and I use the fin roller now, but it doesn't always work when I'm fiberglassing on this kind of surface, because it still is the woven roving underneath, and it kind of has texture to it, and in these weird areas here it doesn't work anyways because it's all wobbly and wiggly. It's not like perfectly nice. So I tend to use my hand, and my thumb is what I use a lot to get the air bubbles out, and that seems to work for me. And I just like to use a brush. I'm going to still put 2 coats of epoxy on top of this to fill in just the threads I use to sew everything together. Then when I sand it, before I paint it or whatever I'm going to do with it, I'm not sanding into the actual fiberglass. I'm just sanding off the roughness. This worked out great, having this little station here. Here it is, Wednesday, I believe August 17th. And as you can see, the port side engine area is fiberglass. I actually did that on Sunday. On Monday, I did this starboard side. Yesterday, Tuesday, I ground these down. The rest of the day, I'm just going to start sanding all of this area here where the stringer is going to go. And then over here, I'll do that with the fiberglass end. This side where I added this extra fiberglass here because I had to extend the plywood over. It was too close to the edge of these strut bolts. Alright, so I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, or at least the filming work here. As you can see, where the strut and the rudder goes, this is the port side, I've installed the marine grade plywood there to replace what was there before. And I've got it all blended in with thickened epoxy and colloidal silica. My goal today is to fiberglass over these. Now this side over here, starboard side, I've just finished sanding it. That's when I realized that I probably should film. But this side's been all blended in. There's a few little spots that I have to put a little filler in before I fiberglass. I just want to build up the thickness and put some fiberglass on top of this and get a thickness of fiberglass. So I'm going to do 4 layers. Factory, I think, maybe had 1, maybe 2, but I don't think it was 2. I think it was just 1. It was very thin. There was a lot of voids and stuff in it. So anyways, I want a good thickness on here to help with the bolting down of the rudder and stuff, to give it a little more strength in that reasoning there. So anyways, I'm going to just go right around the perimeter here with 4. I'll kind of step each layer in so I can blend it in better later, because the goal this weekend is going to be to actually finish with 1 piece of fiberglass over this whole thing. Alright, so there you go. It's fiberglassed, both sides, 4 layers. It was a little warm to be doing that yesterday, so I had to spend a lot of time with the fin roller, try to keep it down and keep the air pockets out of it. But I got lucky and it came out good. So I didn't film it, obviously. Running low on time and couldn't really get a good camera angle on it, but it was more just running low on time. I had to get it done and get out of here and go do something else. Port side is done, and I think it blends in a lot nicer than the factory did it, if I do say so. Hopefully if I get this sanded today, I can put 1 more layer on this entire thing and be done with everything except for this area, as far as getting all the whole strip here fiberglassed. So I'm going to start sanding away. It's going to be another hot day, and it's not going to be fun, but got to do it. I've got both sides sanded down. You can see we're blended in the layers here. It took me like most of the day yesterday. Well, I had to make a trip and get some more epoxy, but it basically took me all day to do both sides. And there was some little areas, you can see the whiter dots there, where I had to fill in some things. But anyways, I got it done. It's ready to be fiberglassed. Just wanted to show you before I fiberglass. I still have to cut a piece of fiberglass for this side. This side I just cut the piece so I can show you how that looks. I had ideas of maybe doing all this in one shot, but I think that's going to kind of get in my way because it's kind of hard to reach back there. I either have to crawl over here or over there. So I think I'll just save this because I don't really want to drip stuff all over this when I do it, and I'll just do this separate like my original plan and just end this here. And that's a good place to end that too, because it's where you can see where I cut it off. The support piece, the beam goes there, so it'll be tabbed in and everything right there. So anyways, it's just a good easy rectangular piece to work on. So that piece is ready to go actually, but I'm going to cut this one and do this one first. I think I'm going to try to film this, but I don't really have a good angle. Maybe if I set it up over here, it'll be far away. That's the thing. I can use my other camera and you can't really see it. Maybe I'll set up two cameras. I don't know. You're going to see a lot of my backside and things like that, I think. But alright, so here's the starboard side, and they came out pretty good. I had to massage. I have to massage the fiberglass in some areas because the thin roller does good, but if it's a little bumpy, it doesn't get it in the bumps. So that's why I like to use the thin roller. That's why I like to massage it a little bit, just to get the air bubbles out of the little bumps. So anyways, I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll come back and I'll put some extra epoxy on top of it just to fill the weave in and give me something to sand like usual. Alright, well here's the result after 3 coats of epoxy on top of what was on there. And now I got to go back and just grind all the edges and everything where there's sharp little things, little nibs that are sticking out. But it came out really good. I've got 5 layers of fiberglass on there in total, and that thing is solid, and it looks like it blends in pretty good. I mean, it's in the engine compartment, so it doesn't have to be perfect or anything, but pretty happy with that. Here's the port side over here. I did have one issue, and I'll point it out. Before I left for lunch, after I got everything on both sides, I did this side first and then the other side over here. But when I left for lunch, it looked great. It was even almost, it was drying really well. But then when I got back from lunch, right here, where this kind of lighter area is right here, this was like bubbled up. It was a area like that big. It was just bubbled up. I don't know what happened. But what I did was I just cut this with a Stanley knife and then injected some 610 West System 610 thickened epoxy in a little syringe underneath there, just so there wouldn't be an air pocket and it had something in there. So that worked out pretty good. There's a little bump here, but it's not that bad, and I really don't even care. The whole thing's bumpy. So, but I didn't want an air pocket, so that was the only real issue. I still don't know why that even happened, but they looked like it was drying like really good. That's why I left. So here's the syringe I use. It's like I took the regular 610 tube and just squirted it in the end, so it already pre-mixed, and then I used this to squirt it in there, and because it had a very small tip on it, and it worked out good. So no air pocket, but a little bit of a bump, but like I said, I don't care. So anyways, I'm gonna grind down those nibs and hope it, you can see out there how dark the sky is. Hope I don't get caught in a thunderstorm. Alright, so I've cleaned off this area. This is where the prop shaft comes in, and I've kind of taped off the actual shaft log just so I don't get epoxy all over it, because I might be pulling this at some point. I don't know, but I don't want to have it, stuck in there with epoxy. Not that I couldn't get it off, but it would be just more difficult. But yeah, I'm just going to do this area right here. And this is the starboard side. I'll do the port side as well. And we'll be done with all the fiberglassing from the sides of the hull all the way to these inner stringers. I was going to put more than one layer of fiberglass on here, but then I was thinking about it, and there's going to be a support piece that comes right in here, and that's all going to be tabbed in on both sides. So this area right here will have multiple layers of fiberglass on it from the tabbing, so there's no need to go crazy with just putting extra fiberglass on it now. So I'm going to get going on these. I'll film this side, but I'm going to do the other side at the same time. Alright, well that's going to do it for the work I did in August of 2022. Next one will be the work I did in September of 2022, which is starting on those stringers. So until the next episode, everyone take care, and I'll see you soon.